Hello students, welcome to EduScription. Today we are going to perform the experiment of a natural convection mode of heat transfer. But before that we should know what is that natural convection mode of heat transfer. So as we know that the convection mode of heat transfer means the heat transfer occurs due to the mass motion of the fluid means it may be the air. So thing is that the convection may be of two type, one is natural convection, one is a forced convection, but here we are going to discuss about the natural convection mode of heat transfer. So what is that natural convection mode of heat transfer? That the convection mode of heat transfer that occurs due to the influence of gravity only, that does not occur any sort of external agent, that occurs only due to the gravity is known as the natural convection mode of heat transfer. And today the aim of the experiment is to determine the average surface heat transfer coefficient in natural convection, and here we are going to find out the experimental value of that surface heat transfer coefficient, that is H, as well as the theoretical value of that, and we are going to compare both of them, that means the experimental value as well as the theoretical value. So to find out that natural convection mode of heat transfer, here we have arranged in the test rig part, we have arranged one hollow cylindrical brass tube. This one is the hollow cylindrical brass tube which is inside the rectangular hollow rectangular wooden tube. So this one is the rectangular hollow wooden tube, and this hollow rectangular wooden tube is provided for the insulation purpose, and the asbestos is inside the wall, and the insulation is provided to minimize the heat losses. And here in the brass part, it is the brass is generally polished to decrease the heat loss due to the radiation effect. And we can see there are 7 thermocouples are attached to record or to find out the different temperatures at different point on the surface of the tube, that is 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So the corresponding temperature that is going to be indicated at the temperature indicator, there will be T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 and T6 and T7 in degree Celsius. Here to indicate the ambient temperature, so another thermocouple is attached here, that is T8, that means T8 is the corresponding ambient temperature. Here the heater is inside the brass tube to heat to generate the heat, and that is inside the brass cylinder actually, and that is connected with the power supply from here, this end consider that this is the positive end and this one is the negative end. And in the nomenclature part we will see the outer diameter of the tube, that means of the brass tube, the D is equal to 0.045 meter. The length of the cylinder, that means this brass cylinder, the length is equal to 0.45 meter. So this is the test rig of the natural convection mode of heat transfer. Here we can see the brass tube is inside the rectangular wooden tube actually. Here 7 thermocouples are attached, and here we can see the ambient temperature is going to be recorded from this thermocouple, and this temperature T1 to T8 is going to be indicated in the temperature indicated here. So I can rotate to place respective point of temperatures, and this one is the heater dimmer, and if I will rotate the heater dimmer, then here we can see the ammeter reading as well as the voltmeter reading, they are changing. That means the power supply is going to change. So if I will increase the power supply, that means the ammeter reading is going to increase as well as the voltmeter reading is going to increase. And in the test rig part we will see the upper part of the rectangular wooden tube, that is completely open, as well as the lower portion is also completely open, and there is no other influence to create the convection method, that means it is only and only due to the gravity. So this is the natural convection mode of heat transfer, and the heat is going to be flow from the inside portion because the heater is in the inside portion of the brass tube. and power is getting supplied to the heater from this end as well as from this end. So let us consider this one is your positive one, this one is your negative one actually. In the observation part, here we can see that for different heat input values, the different condition of surface temperature is going to be recorded here as well as the ambient temperature is going to be recorded here. And here you can see for the serial one, for the observation one, let us consider the heat input, the corresponding heat input will be something. So the voltmeter reading will be recorded here, ammeter reading will be recorded here, and the power, that is input power, that is V into I, will be recorded here, and T1, T2, T3 up to T7 is going to be recorded here, and the average temperature, that is going to be find out from T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 plus T5 plus T6 plus T7 divided by 7 will be recorded here, and the ambient temperature, that is a T8, is going to be recorded here. And after finding all these values in the observation table, in the calculation part, what we will do, we will find out the experimental value, then we will find out the theoretical value. And in the experimental value, we will see the first point is to find out the average surface temperature in degree Celsius, that is a Ts. That value is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3 plus T4 plus T5 plus T6 plus T7 divided by 7 in degree Celsius. And ambient temperature in the duct, that is a Ta in degree Celsius, will be equal to T8. Heat input to the system or the rate of heat transfer will be equals to V into I. Surface area of the pipe AS, that means surface area of the brass tube, is equal to pi into D into L. As you have known that D value is equal to 0.045 meter and L value is equal to 0.45 meter. And Q, that means rate of heat transfer, Q is equal to H into AS into TS minus a TA. And from this formula, as we know that we have knew the value of Q, and we have knew the value of AS, we have knew the value of TS, and we have knew the value of TA. But here the unknown value is H. So we are going to find out the H value, that is the experimental value of H. So H experimental will be equals to Q divided by AS into TS minus TA. So likewise we will go to find out the theoretical value. So here, before finding out the theoretical value, the very important thing is to find out the film temperature actually, and that film temperature is equal to Ta, that means ambient temperature, plus Ts divided by 2. Ts is the average surface temperature. So here the TF value corresponding to this of TF value, all these properties of air is going to be found out. So according to the properties of the air, the corresponding film temperature, the kinematic viscosity is going to be found out, then Prandtl number is going to be found out, and then thermal conductivity, that means K value is going to be found out, and coefficient of volumetric efficiency, that is a beta, is equal to 1 by Tf in degree Kelvin is going to be found out. After that we will calculate the Grashoff's number value. So Grashoff's number value formula is equal to G into beta into L to the power 3 into delta T divided by V square. Here G is the gravitational acceleration and beta is the coefficient of volumetric expansion, L is the length of the brass tube, delta T is the Ts minus Ta, and V is the kinematic viscosity value. And coming to next cases, to find out the Nusselt number, and Nusselt number is here, Nusselt number is 0.59 into Grashoff's number into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3. But condition is that if the product of Grashoff's number and Prandtl number will be in terms of 10 to the power 9. If it will be in terms of 10 to the power 12 or lower than that, then what will be that? Nusselt number value will be 0.59 into Grashoff's number into Prandtl number. Before that it was 0.59 into Grashoff's number into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3. Here Grashoff's number into Prandtl number into 0.59 only. Now after finding out Nusselt number, the theoretical value of H will be equal to Nusselt number into K divided by L in watt per meter square Kelvin. And after finding this H theoretical, we are going to compare it with the H experimental. That means the surface heat transfer coefficient in experimental manner as well as in theoretical manner. So for individually, for observation 1, for observation 2 and observation 3 we are going to do the same thing repeatedly. So in the experiment part, when we will give the power supply, then the heater dimmer is going to be operated. So when I will operate the heater dimmer, then the ammeter value as well as the voltmeter value is going to increase, and we will remember one thing, that the product of voltmeter and ammeter is the power. So the power value in between two observations, so that interval is going to be maintained same value. That means for the observation 1 if it is 20, then of course for the observation 2 it should be 40, and for observation 3 it should be 60. So the interval value should be same in between two observations actually. So here the product value of V and I, let us consider it is 20. Then after giving some of the times for attaining the steady condition, then I will record the temperatures at different points. That means at point 1, that is T1, and then is point 2, that is T2, then T3, then T4, then T5, likewise T7 and T8. So after that the observation 1 will be completed. Then for the observation 2, then I will give the heat input of 40 watt. That means the product of V into I should be 40 watt, and for the observation 3 it should be 60 watt. So and remember the very important thing, that for attaining the steady condition we will wait for a particular time interval, so that the temperature that will be indicated here will be perfect one to find out the experimental values. So here in the observation part, these are those data which are recorded for different observation 1, 2 and 3 for different heat input condition. So in the first observation, these data are taken for approximation 20 watt power input, and in the second observation it is 40 watt power input, and the third observation for 60 watt power input, and for the first observation for 20 watt power input, these are the different temperature of the surface of the brass cylindrical tube, and this is the ambient temperature. And considering these data for the observation 1, the experimental value of H is equal to find out the experimental value of H, so Ts is equal to 36.628 degrees Celsius, that is equal to 309.628 Kelvin, and ambient temperature T8, that is Ta is equal to 32.4 degrees Celsius, and here delta T is equal to 4.228 Kelvin, and H is equal to from the previous board the formula is V I by pi dl into Ts minus Ta. So obviously it will be 73.242 watt per meter square Kelvin, and here the theoretical value is equal to this was the experimental value and this is the theoretical value. Now to find out the theoretical value, film temperature is equal to Ts plus Ta divided by 2, that is equal to 307.514 Kelvin, and considering the different air characteristics data, so the kinematic kinematic viscosity is equal to 16.97 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter square per second, and Prandtl number is equal to 0.711, and here the thermal conductivity is equal to 0.271, and beta that is equal to 1 by film temperature, that is 1 by 307.514, that is equal to 3.2519 into 10 to the power minus 3. So Grasshoff's number is equal to G into the beta value into L to the LQ into delta T, so divided by V to the power 2, that is equal to 9.81 into 3.2519 into 10 to the power minus 3 into 0.45 Q into 4.228 whole divided by 16.97 into 10 to the power minus 6 whole square. So that will be equal to 4267907.602. 605, and the product of Grossov's number and Prandtl number, that is coming in terms of 10 to the power 9. So obviously the Nusselt number formula will be 0.59 into Grossov's number into Prandtl number to the power 1 by 3. So that value is coming 184.026, and now the H theoretical value formula will be Nusselt number into K divided by L, so which is going to be 11.0824 watt per meter square Kelvin. Here we have found the theoretical value of H is equal to 11.0824 watt per meter square Kelvin, and here we have found that experimental value of H is equal to 73.242 watt per meter square Kelvin. It means that the H theoretical and H experimental value, that is not getting matched, that they are not same. So but thing is, due to some error in, or due to some losses in the insulation, or due to some error in the insulation, the great losses is happening in the test rig. So that is why H experimental value is very more as compared to the H theoretical. So likewise we will do to find out the experimental value as well as the theoretical value for the observation 2, and then is the observation 3. So this is the way to find out the average surface heat transfer coefficient for the natural convection mode of heat transfer in different power input. So this is all about for this experiment. Thank you very much.